How can a creature so small, weighing no more than a coin, fly not only forward, but also backward, as if defying the very rules of the sky? Have you ever wondered why a hummingbird's wings beat more than 80 times per second, creating that sharp, hypnotic sound that feels like a tiny motor in the air? Is it just beautiful, or is something far more complex happening here? Now imagine this. A tiny heart, pounding with such intensity it surpasses 1,000 beats per minute. That's not an exaggeration, it's pure biology. The hummingbird doesn't just fly, it hovers, dives, accelerates and breaks midair like no other feathered creature on Earth. But what powers these almost supernatural abilities? And why does such a delicate animal act like a fierce warrior when approaching a single flower? Is nectar really all it's after? Or is there a complex web of instincts, strategies and decisions unfolding right before our eyes, a world few people ever notice? In this video, you're about to dive into a world of science, mystery and beauty, a miniature universe running at high speed, hiding secrets even scientists are still trying to understand. But before we begin this journey, if you love nature as much as you love understanding it, give this video a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. It helps us keep bringing you more amazing stories like this one. Now, let's uncover the secrets of the hummingbird. When we see a hummingbird in action for the first time, it's hard to believe it's real. While most birds need momentum to take off or glide through the air, the hummingbird rewrites the rules of natural aviation. It doesn't just fly, it hovers, rises vertically, dives with precision, changes direction midair, and most incredibly of all, flies backward. Yes, backward. It's one of the very few birds known to perform this maneuver, something even commercial airplanes can't do without complex mechanical systems. But how is all of this possible in such a tiny body? The secret lies in its wings. Unlike most birds that flap their wings up and down, the hummingbird moves its wings in a circular motion, almost like drawing a horizontal figure 8 in the air. This creates lift both on the forward and return strokes, an extremely rare aerodynamic feat in nature. It's as if the bird were a living helicopter, capable of staying stable and controlled mid-air with surgical precision. This flight style has puzzled scientists for decades. Researchers have used high-speed cameras and 3D simulations to try to understand how such a small animal can manipulate air so masterfully. What they discovered is that the hummingbird is, quite literally, a miracle of biological engineering, a true master of the skies that turns physics into art and flight into spectacle. No other flying creature even comes close to this level of agility, control and complexity. Flying like that isn't just a matter of skill, it's a brutal physical demand. To maintain that impossible flight that defies gravity, the hummingbird's body operates like a miniature biological power plant. Everything about it has been shaped to turn energy into motion, with an intensity and efficiency that borders on the unbelievable. The hummingbird's heart is one of the most impressive components of this living engine. While in flight, it can beat up to a staggering 1,260 times per minute, the fastest rate ever recorded in any vertebrate. For comparison, the human heart, even under extreme effort, rarely exceeds 200. The hummingbird's heart pulses as if trying to keep pace with the furious rhythm of its wings. Its breathing is equally intense, with around 250 breaths per minute. It's as if every cell in its body is constantly screaming for energy. This extreme metabolism comes at a price. The hummingbird lives on the edge of exhaustion. It burns calories at such a frantic pace that just a few hours without food could send it into collapse. That's why it needs to eat constantly, and a lot. Every single day, it consumes up to half its body weight in nectar, forcing it to visit hundreds of flowers daily. It doesn't just live to fly, it flies to survive, driven by a relentless urgency that never lets up. Its body never truly rests. When it lands, it's not relaxing, it's refueling. Each wing beat is a burn of fuel, and every second is a silent race against energy collapse. The hummingbird is, in essence, a creature made of pure intensity. All that power needs an equally powerful fuel source, and for the hummingbird, the energy that powers its extraordinary flight comes straight from flowers, more specifically from nectar, a sweet, sticky, high-calorie liquid produced by plants to attract pollinators. But don't be fooled into thinking the hummingbird just sips it through a simple straw. Its tongue is a true masterpiece of biological engineering. Thin, long, and forked at the tip, the hummingbird's tongue forms something like the shape of a W when fully extended from the beak. Each fork curls into microscopic structures that use surface tension and capillary action to draw nectar in with extreme efficiency. The tongue can flick in and out of the flower up to 18 times per second, making each feeding session rapid and precise, like a hydraulic pump programmed by nature. But here's a detail few people know. Nectar is basically sugar. It provides quick energy, but not enough to support the demanding muscles of this aerial athlete. To get essential proteins and amino acids, the hummingbird supplements its diet with something far less sweet, tiny insects and even spiders. With its agility, it can snatch these small creatures mid-flight, revealing a hidden predator behind its delicate appearance. It's fascinating to realize that the bird we see peacefully sipping from a flower is actually performing a critical nutritional mission. It's not just eating, it's refueling a high-performance machine that needs to be ready to fly, hover, fight, and survive. All in a matter of seconds. If a hummingbird's flight already seems extraordinary, its senses reveal a whole new level of complexity. They aren't just fast, they come equipped with abilities that go far beyond the boundaries of human perception. When we look at a flower, we see color, maybe a beautiful shape, but when a hummingbird looks at that same flower, it sees something completely different, something we can't even clearly imagine. Hummingbirds have vision so advanced they can see into the ultraviolet spectrum, a range of light invisible to us. What looks like an ordinary yellow flower to our eyes might be covered in glowing patterns, precisely marking where the nectar is. It's as if flowers create secret landing strips made of light, visible only to their winged visitors. This gives the hummingbird an incredible advantage in its search for food. It doesn't need to guess which flower has nectar. It sees the right path before even getting close. But vision isn't its only superpower. Its hearing is finely tuned, sensitive enough to detect high-frequency sounds, like the buzz of tiny insect wings from surprising distances. That detail transforms what seems like a peaceful bird into an opportunistic hunter, able to find a small spider or a flying mosquito using sound alone. On top of that, its brain is wired to process visual and auditory information at lightning speed. It can navigate between leaves, branches, and flowers with the precision of a drone programmed by engineers, but with a natural grace no machine could ever replicate. In many ways, the hummingbird lives in a parallel world, full of lights we can't see, sounds we can't hear, and layers of detail that completely escape us. It's a life in high definition, in a sensory dimension far beyond anything we know as perception. At first glance, it's easy to be charmed by a hummingbird's delicacy. Its feathers shimmer like jewels in the sunlight. Its size is tiny. Its flight looks choreographed by some magical force. But beneath that ethereal beauty lies a fearless warrior, a true aerial guardian, willing to do whatever it takes to defend what's his. Hummingbirds are incredibly territorial, and their courage has nothing to do with size. They patrol their zones like vigilant sentinels, and when an intruder approaches, whether it's another hummingbird, a curious thrush, or even an unsuspecting hawk, what follows is an aerial explosion of aggression. The hummingbird dives with stunning speed, launches attack maneuvers, and even crashes into the opponent to drive it away. It's like he's saying, "Not here," and he means it. This bravery isn't bravado, it's survival. With the metabolism running at full throttle, every flower means extra minutes of life. He can't wait, he can't share, he can't risk it. If anything enters his feeding zone, he reacts instantly. Because every drop of nectar is fuel, and his heart beats over 1,000 times per minute. The most impressive part, these battles happen daily. Many hummingbirds follow fixed feeding routes, returning to the same flowers at the same times each day. If another bird tries to cut the invisible line, it'll be met with a fierce aerial charge. This discipline and territorial rage are a surprising show of instinct, strategy, and endurance. It's a powerful reminder. In nature, courage isn't measured by size. It's measured by the urgency of the fight. The hummingbird may be small in body, but its spirit is giant. A true defense machine, driven by pure necessity. As if surreal flight and insane metabolism weren't enough, the hummingbird still has one final surprise. A feat worthy of the greatest legends in nature: migration. Despite its tiny size, some hummingbird species embark on transcontinental journeys, traveling thousands of kilometers with no help, no company, and no extended rest. They do this every year, guided only by instinct, visual memory, and an almost supernatural inner drive. One of the most astonishing examples is the rufous hummingbird, Selasphorus rufus. It travels from the cold regions of Alaska and Canada all the way down to Mexico, a trip that can exceed 6,000 kilometers. To put that in perspective, it's like a human running 100 marathons in a row without sleep or shelter. Even more shocking, many of these birds fly over open ocean for large portions of the trip. No flowers, no branches, no rest. Only sky and the strength of their wings. During this exhausting migration, the hummingbird navigates using a mix of Earth's magnetic fields, sun positioning, and visual memory. Yes, memory. They can recall exact routes, past bloom locations, and nectar sources year after year. That means a brain the size of a grain of rice stores a working map of half a continent, a natural GPS, flawless and tireless. This migration isn't just a journey. It's a silent battle against fatigue, predators, and weather, all to reach a new territory where survival is possible. In facing that journey, the hummingbird reminds us, resilience isn't measured by the size of the body, but by the depth of instinct. Even the smallest creatures are capable of the greatest triumphs. When a hummingbird crosses your field of vision under the sun, it's hard to tell. Are you seeing a bird or a gemstone in motion? Its feathers shimmer with metallic tones, colors that explode in the light and shift with every angle. One moment, it's a dark blur. The next, it bursts into emerald, ruby, gold, or violet, as if bathed in liquid rainbow. But here's the most surprising part. These colors don't come from pigment. They aren't real in the way we normally think of color. They're an illusion, a trick of light, carefully sculpted by nature. The hummingbird's feathers are made of microscopic structures that act like tiny prisms. When light hits them, it's refracted, reflected, and amplified, creating a phenomenon known as iridescence. The same optical magic we see in soap bubbles or butterfly wings. But in hummingbirds, this light trick has been perfected to the extreme. Every wing beat changes the reflection. Every tilt of the head reveals a new hue. It's as if the air itself is painting the bird, moment by moment, in real time, and it serves a purpose. Beyond attracting mates, these iridescent colors act as visual signals during territorial disputes. They help hummingbirds identify each other, intimidate rivals, or even vanish in plain sight. From certain angles, they shine like fire. From others, they seem to disappear, a form of color camouflage in motion. It's a spectacle of physics and biology, proof that beauty in nature isn't always about pigment, but about how light is shaped and played. In this way, the hummingbird isn't just an animal. It's a flying work of art, a living sculpture that shines, transforms, and hypnotizes with every movement. Not everything in the hummingbird's world is battle or survival. When mating season arrives, the fierce fights over flowers give way to something far more elegant, a breathtaking display of aerial seduction. The male hummingbird shifts from warrior to performer, putting on a show that blends strength, beauty, precision, and boldness, all to impress a highly selective female. It begins with a choreographed ascent. He climbs skyward, dozens of meters into the air, his wings beating fast and steady like a metronome. Then, at the peak, he dives. A vertical plunge, like a feathered arrow, reaching speeds over 90 kilometers per hour. As he rushes past the female, he creates a sharp, vibrating sound, not from his throat, but from his tail feathers. This isn't noise, it's music, a precisely timed note, a natural instrument tuned for one moment only. Every detail matters: the angle of the dive, the speed, the proximity, the pitch of the sound. It's an aerial ballet, and one misstep can ruin the entire performance. If the show succeeds, the female responds with interest. If not, he'll have to try again, or be outshined by a faster, louder, more dazzling rival. But this ritual isn't just about beauty. It's a real test of fitness. The female is watching for more than color. She's assessing strength, control, and fearlessness. She's not choosing just any mate, she's choosing the best. In this skybound stage, there's no room for deception. The dance of love is real, raw, and deeply mesmerizing. It's yet another reminder that in the animal world, beauty is also a language. And in the hummingbird's case, it's written in the sky. After so many acrobatics, battles, and impossible flights, it's time to talk about something even more astonishing: the beginning of life. And for the hummingbird, everything begins in a place so tiny, it's almost invisible to the human eye. Their nest is a true masterpiece of natural architecture, small, delicate, and surprisingly functional. Often, it's no bigger than a walnut or a thimble, carefully hidden among tree branches and shrubs. The one behind this work of art is the female. All by herself, she gathers moss, lichen, plant fibers, and pieces of leaves, stitching everything together with one unexpected ingredient: spider silk. Yes, spider webs act as a natural glue, giving the nest both flexibility and strength. It can stretch as the chicks grow, like a living structure that adapts to its tiny passengers. Inside this miniature shelter, she lays 2 tiny eggs, often no larger than a pea or a coffee bean. They're the smallest bird eggs on Earth, yet they carry the promise of another generation of airborne miracles. She warms them with care and patience, using her fragile body to shield them from danger and cold. When the chicks hatch, they're blind, featherless, and completely helpless. Yet in less than 3 weeks, they'll be ready for their very first flight, a growth so fast, it feels like magic. During this time, the mother feeds them tirelessly, hunting nectar and insects to provide all the nutrients they need. She does it all alone, no help from the male. Just her, driven by instinct and a quiet force that only motherhood can awaken. This tiny nest, so fragile at first glance, is actually a symbol of resilience, a cradle that holds not only new life, but the continuity of a species that seems lifted straight from a dream. By day, the hummingbird is pure energy. Its body vibrates, its wings defy time, and its heart beats like a war drum. But when the sun sets and the flowers close, the source of its power disappears. So how does such a frantic creature survive the night, without warmth, food, or guaranteed shelter? The answer is as surprising as its daytime life. It shuts down, literally. The hummingbird enters a state called torpor, a kind of controlled hibernation where its body slows to almost unimaginable levels. Its body temperature drops up to 20 degrees. Its heart rate falls from over 1,000 to fewer than 50 beats per minute, and its breathing becomes so slow it seems to stop entirely. In this state, it hangs motionless on a branch, like a tiny frozen sculpture in the forest shadows. This isn't just rest. It's an extreme adaptation, a survival tactic refined by nature over millions of years. By entering torpor, it drastically reduces its energy consumption, preserving the precious resources it gathered during the day. And it does all this flawlessly, hibernating for a few hours and waking at dawn, ready to return to its frenzy, as if it had just taken a nap. No switch is flipped, no command is given. The body simply knows instinctively when to shut down and when to come back to life. This contrast between the most accelerated body in the animal kingdom and a state close to death is yet another reminder that the hummingbird is no ordinary bird. It's a miniature miracle, a masterpiece of adaptation, strategy, and survival. If you were fascinated by this journey into the world of hummingbirds, leave a comment below sharing which fact surprised you the most. Share this video with someone who loves nature or would be enchanted by this magical creature. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more stunning documentaries like this, where nature reveals its most extraordinary secrets. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next flight.